Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for your feedback. You guys just heard the name of the song, of course. It's just called Do Ghadi by Bilal Khan. I think Bilal Khan is a wonderful, wonderful human being. He is a fantastic singer-songwriter. Quite a fan of him, actually. Anyway, time on the dial is 6:02. Mera naam Sophie hai. Show ka naam hai Drive On. Aap sun rahe hain FM 91. And now I'd like to introduce somebody here who is very relevant to the theme on the show today as well. His name is Mr. Danish Khan. He's the CEO of Caravan Crafts Foundation. Assalamu alaikum, sir. A very good evening. Welcome to Drive On.
Assalamu alaikum, ji.
Pleasure to have you here. Now, a couple of things that I want to talk to you about, but usse pehle I was just going through your profile and I was quite impressed by it, quite impressed by it. He is a human rights activist to the core. He is working for women economic empowerment in Pakistan at the grassroots level. He has received an award, if I'm not mistaken, from HRH Prince Charles in recognition of his work in developing and delivering impactful and lasting solutions to the challenges of poverty and injustice towards marginalized rural women in Pakistan. I think this is wonderful. This is some wonderful work you're doing. And you, of course, he's also a practitioner, gender equality and conflict transformation, and so much more. I mean, if you talk about his academic qualification as well, he holds a bachelor's in architecture from NCA, and he holds an MBA from LUMS as well at the same time. This is wonderful. So it's a pleasure to have you here once again. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
So there are a lot of things to talk about. बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो हमने address करनी है. मगर let's start with the basics. तो मैंने आज एक सवाल लोगों से पूछा, which is our topic of discussion on the show today, that if the Pakistani nation had to follow any one advice, what would you suggest? So what would you say?
So you would want me to suggest one as well?
Yes.
I think I would say be the change that you would want to see in the world.
Absolutely. We're always looking for change, aren't we? Like, we're looking for things to happen, looking for people to happen, but it's just us. We forget to look at our own selves, don't we?
Absolutely. It starts from the self.
It starts from the self.
It's easy criticizing the other, but taking a step back, just first of all, making things right at your end.
Right.
So be a good listener. So there's a lot of things associated with it, but it's important to be at the forefront of what you really want to do.
True. So we have a lot of people participating on the topic of discussion as well. We got a message from Hina, and she says, Sophie, my suggestion is that do not give air to fake news. I think this is very important also. Sensationalization का ज़माना है, आपको पता ही है. जरा सी बात चलती है, gossip होता है, rumor होता है, तो वो हर जगह फैल जाता है. I think that's quite apt. Abdul Shakur is tuned in from Karachi, and he says that, hi Sophie, how are you? I'm doing very well, Abdul Shakur. And he says, I think as a nation we need to be more united. I can't really get into the divisions, and I was thinking about, but I think you have an idea. Yes, I do, and we do, of course.
Absolutely. But saying this, I think a reality check has to be there all the time. We should not be living in any utopia of having
the perfect world.
The perfect world. So it starts from the person himself or herself. So some very practical, easy solutions, simple principles. So I think yes, being united is a very good idea. Yes, we should be, and we've seen people being united on this the current issue of child abuse that has happened.
Yes.
So we've seen people getting together. We've seen them getting together during the earthquake.
Absolutely.
So people do get together. People do have their emotions associated with a cause. But mobilization has to be there.
Absolutely agree with that. So what we're going to do right now, ladies and gentlemen, is that we're going to be jumping towards a short commercial break. When we come right back, we should be talking to Mr. Danish, of course, about Caravan Crafts Foundation, about the issue of child abuse here in Pakistan, and what exactly is organization doing in today's day and age for Pakistan and the society at large. But before that, we still have a competition taking place. Acha Danish, inse bada ek interesting sa sawal maine pucha hai. Wo jo competition hai, obviously you know the right answer to the question, so keep mum about it, okay? So the question is that there are a few things I'm going to mention. They have to guess the common factor amongst all, okay? Jasmine, Chakur, Deodar and Marhor. What is the common factor amongst all? Now, all you need to do is type in FM space, your name, your comment, send it across to 8833, or you can WhatsApp us as well on 0315 1119191. We should be talking more about the issue, but right now we've got to pay our bills. A very good evening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your feedback so far. And we have a lot of correct answers, a couple of incorrect answers here and there. And अभी दानिश से भी हम लोग बात कर रहे थे about a lot of things off air. मैं इनसे बातचीत कर रही थी about the kind of messages we got yesterday also on the show. Because कल भी हमारा बड़ा एक interesting topic था yesterday. We were talking about entrepreneurship. And let me share something with you as well. In case you guys have just joined us and wondering, ये दानिश कौन है जिनके बारे में सोफी बार-बार बात कर रही है? Well, he basically is a CEO of Karwan Class Foundation. His name is Mr. Danish Jabbar Khan. So once again, Danish, coming back to our conversation. So yesterday I got a message, and the message was sent in by a girl who's based out of Karachi, and she was talking about the fact that how she's studying what she's studying, and she really wants to focus on her career. मगर वो मुझे ये बता रही थी कि उनके पेरेंट्स की वजह से, उनके फैमिली की वजह से, उनके ऊपर प्रेशर है to get married and to not focus as much on her studies as she should. So मुझे ये बताइए, if you want to empower your own self, how do you tackle this situation when your support system is pulling you down?
That is so true. Both in the urban areas and in the rural areas, our interventions are more towards the rural areas of the country, where the mobilization of those females is a bigger challenge than the patriarchal system is more evident there, and it has its different facet altogether than we can experience over here. But the reality is the same. The otherness, which is one is male and the other is female, the norms that are applicable for females are different, and for males are different. The biggest challenge that we have is that the females, the men of the family or the gatekeepers, they are not very pushed to even get the bay form and the ID cards developed for the girls. So one of the major thing that we believe in and what we are working on is that the social change that we would like we would want to see in the society. We believe that social change is driven by economic change. Right. You have to make the woman economically empowered, so she is part of the decision making.
True, there has to be a flow of money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So once she has some kind of
power,
empowerment through some financial means, meaning she is earning something, then she becomes a part of the decision making unit of the household, and she could decide for herself.
I agree.
So until and unless she is economically empowered, so the decisions are primarily will be taken by others.
Unfortunately,
so this is something that needs to be done both in the urban areas and in the rural areas.
Absolutely. So now let's come to your organization also. What exactly is Karwan Class Foundation? What have you guys been doing for so long? And currently also keeping in mind what's happening in our society, what सारे child abuse awareness programs भी होते हैं, campaigns भी होते हैं. How are you aligning them through your organization?
Karwan Class Foundation is an organization that is there since 2004, primarily working on the women economic empowerment program.
Excellent.
Now, when we say women empowerment is very common jargon, commonly used, but we say women economic empowerment because we believe that economic empowerment is the key to the real empowerment.
बिल्कुल सही.
So all our efforts and all our interventions, the programs are designed towards providing
financial independence.
Means to actually get them to the level where they are skilled. Not only in the vocational, some of the vocational skills, but also life skills as well.
Okay.
So that they are better prepared to take on the world, get onto some economic cycle.
Absolutely.
So and not doing that only, we also we have a program to link them to the market opportunities.
Right.
There. So it doesn't work in isolation of just training the females at the grassroots level, but also involving the demand side to be engaged with some kind of work for these women. So we've got our institutes in the rural areas, and we are imparting some textile related skills and also imparting skills in the livestock sector.
Wonderful.
So that's it. This is what we are doing.
This is wonderful. So you have a skill set, then you have the means to actually go ahead and get something lucrative out of it. I think this is wonderful. So ladies and gentlemen, of course, we are talking about women empowerment on the show today, and also we are touching upon the subject of child abuse today. And slowly, थोड़ी देर बाद हम कुछ facts and figures भी share करना चाहेंगे show के ऊपर, which I have noted down also. And I want to also talk about the fact that how can we make a difference in the society at an individual level? We need to come together as a nation, of course, as a society. Which reminds me of a topic of discussion that आज हम बात कर रहे हैं that if the Pakistani nation had to follow any one advice, what would you suggest? So I really want to read about a couple of messages. You got a message from Aisha, who's a cadet. She's based out of the Pakistani army. She says, my suggestion to the Pakistani people is do not poke your nose in other people's businesses. If anyone asks for advice, just give them a suggestion and leave that person to ponder on that suggestion, to take charge of their own decisions. Do not force or compel that person. I think spoken like a true victim, but absolutely, Aisha, we would agree with that. And then we got a similar message from Madiha. And she says, hi Sophie, how are you? I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. My advice is to stop being a kida in people's life who finds negativity in everything and in every person. We are not angels. Focus on the good things, live and let people live. Spot on. Agree with you. So coming back to the competition, it's time for a short commercial break, also followed by a song. सवाल ये है that मैं कुछ चीजों के नाम ले रही हूँ. You have to guess the common factor amongst all. Okay, Jasmine, Chakor, Deodor and Markhor. What is the common factor amongst all? All you need to do is type in FM, space your name, your comment, send it across to 8833. Or you can WhatsApp us as well on 0315 we have, of course, Mr. Danish Khan, who is the CEO of Karwan Cross Foundation here. But right now, we got to pay our bill. Alright, well, did you guys enjoy the song that I played for you? I think I played this song after ages. Mr. Probs, of course, with the song called Ways, and I played for you the remix version. Anyway, time on the dial is 6:30. My name is Sophie hai, show ka naam hai Drive On, aap sun rahe hain FM 91. And I hope that you guys are buckled up and driving safely on the road. So how was your day today? Fill me in on the details. And so what's going on for the time being as well? I would love to know more. See, one thing that I love, Danish, about my show is that, you know, people are, they're texting in, they're tweeting in, they're posting in on my Facebook page, and I'm loving the versatility. So coming back to our topic of discussion, हम लोग बात कर रहे थे that if you were to give the Pakistani nation any one advice, what would be a suggestion? I loved Nida's advice, and she's like, बिल्कुल जिस तरह वो बोल रही है ना, मैं उसी तरह बोलती हूँ, ठीक है, जिस तरह उन्होंने लिखा हुआ है. So Nida Hussain is based out of Karachi, and she says, we should learn to say sorry and mind our own business. We should not envy others for the money they have. That people try to earn illegally and then get crazily rich, assuming nobody would notice, and then making others feel inferior. I mean, seriously? Phew. Nida, you were spot on, and we completely agree with you as well. Absolutely. So coming back to our topic of discussion, तो हम लोग दानिश बात कर रहे थे about empowerment and about feminism, but I really want, I believe, I think because of certain people's own vested selfish interests and of marketing tactics, I think we need to rebrand feminism and rebrand sort of empowerment and come back to the basics. क्योंकि असल essence जो है ना उन दोनों words का और मकसद का वो घूम गया है दरमियान में. Unfortunately, what do you think?
Again, like the comment that you just mentioned, you're spot on. These isms and these categories of looking at things, they actually dilute the very essence of being human. Where would you place Idi Saab's work for that instance? Okay. Keep it simple. Anybody who wants to see a better world and want to do something good, just do it without categorizing it as I am doing this because I am that, I belong to that ism or this ism or feminism or some other ism. So it's primarily without being categorized as to something, because then you have to justify so many other things associated with it, and then instead of focusing on a very practical solutions, on ground work, you get onto a discourse where you're just giving clarification for things, and also just arguments and discussing things which have no tangible outcome. So if we are just human beings, and then humanity should be supreme, and that is the mindset that one should be having. I'll talk about my the work where what we do is I mentioned earlier the women economic empowerment. We do believe that women is the center of development.
Absolutely.
Without having women as part of the development narrative, it's incomplete. You cannot have it a society, an economic system without having
women.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking at that women as a separate entity in an economic system is kind of I think it's kind of an absurd. It's totality in it there. So for having those, we're also working on breaking down those binaries.
Okay.
Of having the other as one part and something other as the other. For instance, a male and female, some gender stereotyping. That you see what it leads to. It leads to gender stereotyping.
So you want to break away from the cliches and the stereotypes.
Absolutely, and that is something that we are doing currently. That women empowerment per se, what people think, it's not about the women only. Men is an equal part of that narrative.
Absolutely. This is something that we've been focusing on for a long time also. Whenever we start hosting shows and we talk about women empowerment, we always mention the fact that it is very important for us to talk to men about women empowerment as well. It is time we teach our sons. It's time we request our husbands. It's time we talk to our brothers, our fathers, and talk to them about a dialogue, about a conversation, about working together, about equality. Because by the end of the day, Danish, this is what women empowerment and this is what feminism is all about, isn't it? It's about equality.
You see, what happens is that it seeps into, it becomes systemic. It seeps into the education system. लड़की ये कर सकती है, लड़का ये करेगा.
ये लड़कियां ये
नहीं कर सकती. लड़कियों ने ये पिंक ही लेना है, ये डॉल्स ही लेनी है, लड़कियों का सेक्शन ये है, लड़कों का सेक्शन ये है. Why not without? होता क्या उससे? होता ये है कि आपने लड़कों से इमोशंस ही ले लिए हैं. यार क्या लड़कियों की तरह रो रहे हो? What kind of narrative that we are imparting?
Yeah, be a man.
Yeah,
come
absolutely.
on.
वो आप मतलब we've put Corona जो है is for females only. So
it's for the weak.
Yeah. So we've taken the emotions out of our male children. So they also want to dance. They also want to show their emotions. But the system, even the schooling and then also
norms.
the culture all together. So they're playing not the role that they should be playing.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about that also. And once again, we also have some facts and figures that we really want to talk to everybody about as well. We are in a very grave situation when it comes to child abuse here in Pakistan. So we have some facts and figures to talk about and how we can link it up with Karwan Cross Foundation also. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, we have a competition. This is going to take place, I believe, for the last time. So take a listen very carefully. Now, what is a common factor amongst all? You have a couple of options, okay? Jasmine, Chakor, Deodar, and Markhor. What is the common factor amongst all? All you need to do is type in FM space, your name, your comment, send it across to 8833. You can WhatsApp us as well on 0315 111 9191. So up next, we have a short commercial break. Do not go anywhere. Stay with us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your feedback. Once again, we have Mr. Danish Khan over, the CEO of Karwan Class Foundation. We have been talking to him about his, of course, organization. हम बात कर रहे थे about women empowerment. We were also talking about child abuse awareness programs here in Pakistan. अच्छा, दानिश साहब, आपसे ना मैंने कुछ शेयर करनी है facts and figures, कुछ statistics I really want to share as well. Now, this is basically according to a report, जिसका मैं article भी share करूंगी online also. यहाँ पर ये लिखा हुआ है that, to quote, that in 2011, 223 million children globally were sexually abused, out of which 150 were girls and 73 were boys. So this, of course, as we all know, is also one of the major issues that we are facing as a society, which is increasing day by day. एक और organization है, I'm sure आपको उनका पता होगा, साहिल, 2014 की उनकी एक report है, जिसके अंदर उन्होंने mention किया है that child sexual abuse cases reported in Pakistan were 2,778, and in 2012 there were 3,002, and then in 2013 they increased later on as well. तो मुझे ये बताइए that you're a social worker, you are a parent also. What can we do?
First of all, जो भी statistics data है, globally कुछ technological चीजें ऐसी हो रही हैं जिनको you cannot actually we need to find some kind of regulation towards it, and it's government's job to do that. If other things can be curtailed, so these pornographic cartels that are there, which are we need to have a kind of a very vigilant technological system to address that. First of all, secondly, there are few cases which are reported, and I'm sure, and I'm like many other statistics, there are so many that go unnoticed.
Absolutely,
it is
not
just similar to if you're you do not like a product, if a product fails in the market, so the company would get only 1 or 2 complaints, but many people would not even complain. They'll stop using it. So it's the same logic applies over here. So many would not actually have it registered, and it has its the fear factor as well. I would not mince my words by saying that एक आम इंसान जो है वो पुलिस से सबसे ज्यादा डरता है इस मुल्क में. So why is it so?
सोचने की बात है ना कि आप क्यों डरते हैं?
So वो they are there to actually protect us.
जिन लोगों ने हमारी हिफाजत करनी है, आप उनसे क्यों डरते हैं?
Absolutely. So this horrific incidents, 12th in 2 kilometer radius in 12 months, 12th case that actually put us all in a position where we could have the kind of pressure on the government that state machinery came into action, and 10 days, 10-12 days, you have a culprit in front of you. So it's the same state machinery that was not that was not working at that level, unable to actually take any actions before that.
So we need to use technology to the maximum when it comes to coming up with, of course, quick solutions to this as well. And apart from that, we're always talking about it. This is what I feel. I feel that we're always talking about things. We're always talking about campaigns, and this is what we're doing. These are the laws. But when it comes to solutions, when it comes to implementation, execution, when it comes to the grassroots level, things do not happen. Justice is not served. Things are pending.
That's true.
So that is something that, we really need to address, and I think the pressure should always be on.
Absolutely. Sophia Dotton here. You see, it's very fancy talk to have a discussion on what reforms that there should be, education reforms, land reforms, X reform, Y reforms. You see, who is going to bring those reforms? The same state machinery which was not doing anything before this Zainab incident. And what made it work? The same thing is going to bring the reforms. That is the civil society and the media.
Absolutely.
We have to keep it alive.
We have to keep it alive.
Absolutely. It's the time has passed for the civil society and then for Aam Aadmi, the ordinary person to just feel comfortable in home. We have to raise the voice.
You have to step out.
Absolutely. We have to go out. Dunya bhar mein there are pressure groups which like when the Iraq invasion by US, you see the largest rallies were in Europe. And who were they? Ordinary people.
You have to come out on the streets.
Yes.
But also there's something that I must mention, and I will grab that opportunity to do so, that a lot of times people bring you down by telling us what not to do. For example, if someone is tweeting, somebody is posting up a status online, and somebody is voicing an opinion on the radio, on TV, writing about it, talking to a friend about it, going out on the street, going to any chalk for that matter, holding up a placard, This matters. Every effort counts. Do not put the other person down and tell that person no. आपने सिर्फ ट्वीट कर लिया है तो क्या फायदा है? आपने सिर्फ लिबर्टी के चौक के ऊपर प्लेकार्ड एक लगा लिया है तो क्या फायदा है? Every voice matters and every effort counts, and I think we should not stop.
Absolutely, Sophie. This the very fact that we are having this program, we're talking about it, is this. We should not always think of having इसके बाद क्या होगा, तो ये तो बातें करते तो और क्या बात, यार ये बात करना भी तो जरूरी है. This is actually very important to keep it alive.
Absolutely.
And not look at always the last link to it, which is the government reforms. But who will bring how the government reforms will come into action? By this interaction, by having people there
and people on the streets, people
yes,
voicing
and
their opinion.
keeping those topics alive. This child abuse is one issue. Inequality in so many other ways. Is in injustices in so many other ways in the society. We should bring them forward.
We should bring,
and
all
we
of
should
them
also
forward.
take, I think, the way the role that media has played in keeping it alive, and the civil society organizations has played in keeping the issue alive. I think we need to take this. We need to spread it. The alternative means of education, alternative means of taking the awareness campaigns to that level. Why not a radio channel for the rural areas? Where we could actually
go and educate people at a grassroots level.
About the laws and about their rights.
I completely agree with you. Absolutely. Danish, thank you so much for being a part of Drive On with Sophie at F91 for the special awareness programs. But before anything else, I'd like to give a huge shout out to your organization also, Caravan Crafts Foundation. And for people who want to participate and volunteer to be a part of it, how can they get in touch with you?
Our Facebook page, Caravan Crafts Foundation, go on to that. We are running few campaigns currently as well, and then the few in the offering. People who want to create change, be part of the change in unpacking the narrative of development, and unleashing the creative energies that they have in whatever way they can. So we are a very practical organization.
Wonderful.
We can, and then there's something that we are working with other education institutions as well to take those students back to the community, to have that empathy developed. Otherwise, the narrative of हम इनके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं या वो हमारे लिए क्या कर सकते हैं,
हो जाएगा, तो empathize करना बहुत जरूरी होता है.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much once again. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we had the very brilliant Mr. Danish Sabar Khan Saab over, the CEO of Caravan Crafts Foundation. And जाते जाते आपके लिए एक गाना है specially जो कि है by Imagine Dragons. It's called Believer, and this is going out specially to you, to your team, and to every Pakistani who's tuned in.
Thank you very much, Sophie.
Thank you very much. And before we sign out from this conversation, we had a competition earlier, ladies and gentlemen. So we were talking about the fact that what is the common factor amongst all? Jasmine, Chakor, Deodar, and Markhor. And the right answer will be coming up shortly. Stay with us.